everybody, welcome to Biockickz 3 Raw TV. I want to make this video real quickly before I leave for the gym to train my clients. And I'm going to make this video because I got such a big, really good response to my video that says nothing happens by chance or nothing by chance. It's more about the spiritual awakening stuff that I was talking about. I got a huge response from that. Thank you guys, you know, for making me not feel like a fucking weirdo, first of all, while I was putting it out there, because it is something that, you know, some people don't understand, they don't get, but I think the majority of people actually do, and that was what was really shocking to me. Let's turn this light on over here. This is how I usually make the video with the light. So God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. I'm not getting all fucking religious on you, so don't even think about that. But those of you that have contacted me, thank you about this stuff. But I want to talk a minute about the Dallas McCarver and Rich Piana events that have happened in the last week. Now, I myself have been going through this thing where I don't want to abuse my body anymore, even though, and I'm not the pot calling the kettle black. I have absolutely abused the fuck out of my body, steroid-wise, training-wise, pro wrestling, beating the shit out of it, opiates, cocaine, fucking, I've done it all, except for meth and crack. Those are things that they weren't around, so I don't know, who knows if I would have got wrapped up in those. But anyways, and I've been kind of on this kick, and I couldn't figure out why I was kind of going towards it. And, you know, it is that spiritual side, and I do believe, you know, Dorian Yates, okay, that's another thing. Dorian had talked about it on our, actually, I don't think he talked about it in the video, but him and I had talked about it. And there are people that are in high places, like Dorian, Rich Piana, you know, and, you know, Dorian is speaking out about this stuff. You know, he's talking about the collective conscious and the collective consciousness or conscious, however you say it. I'm very new to all this shit. And how he felt like he needed to come out and talk about drugs and stuff like that because people are getting the wrong idea, and what he says will change the collective consciousness. Excuse me. Now, Rich did the same thing. He came out and talked about the drugs and, you know, very open about it and stuff because he didn't want lies going on about, you know, what people use or what he uses or whatever. He was just very open with that. Now, the idea behind those things happening spiritually wise, whatever the fucking higher power is, whatever it is trying to tell us that there's another way and we're abusing the fuck out of ourselves. I mean, in general, caffeine, not sleeping, you know, stress, alcohol, all these things, you know, smoking, all these things that in general the average person puts themselves through, and the bodybuilders on top of it train like fucking animals, they abuse the fuck out of their bodies, they compete, they take massive amounts of fucking steroids. There's something out there telling us we need to cut the shit, like we're going in a bad direction. And when we don't listen, the universe takes upon itself to give us a kick in the fucking ass. Like, if you're going down one path and you're supposed to be going down another path, or you should be going down another path, and you ignore that path, the universe, or whatever the fuck it is, will push you on that path. It'll make you look and pay attention and say, you need to fucking do this, stop. And many of us are going down that path, we're going down that path, and are not paying attention. They're not paying attention to people like Dorian saying, look, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. I did it, and, you know, it is what it is, but I think that for general, overall, you should do this. And people are not listening. They're not listening to the Dorian Yates and the people speaking out. So what does the universe or the higher power, whatever the fuck it does, what does it do? It opens your fucking eyes. And what it does is take two of the most influential people in the fitness industry under two different fucking circumstances from two different ways. Like, Rich wasn't a competitive bodybuilder. He was about living the lifestyle, right? That's one whole big thing as a whole the fitness industry has become. It's not about competing anymore. It's about living the lifestyle, right? So the people that would pay attention to that, it took Rich from us, right? Whatever the fuck it is. It says, you know what? People are not paying attention. We're going to fucking take him. We're going to make him the example. And then Dallas McCarver, the people that are into competing, he was so looked up to because he was young. He was up and coming. He was so much, I mean, he was so much better than all the other people. He did it so much faster. He was like the evolution or the future of bodybuilding. The two people in the fitness industry that are probably looked up to the most, okay, you guys are not paying attention. We'll make an example out of them. And now what's happening is both of them are gone, and I literally am watching people talk about, I mean, they're contacting me, they're talking about it on social media. There's a buzz going around the entire fitness industry about abusing our bodies. And it's not about just one thing. It's about being too heavy. It's about taxing your body with the food, taxing your body with the steroids, recreational drugs, you name it. It's being brought up now and talked about and discussed. And people are actually starting to say, wow, maybe I should think twice about this. Like, it was in the back of my mind, but now it's at the forefront of my mind. Maybe I should. And at the same time, before Dallas and Rich had any complications, in my head I was going like, I need to get off steroids altogether. I need to get off the fucking TRT, which is still a steroid, right? I need to get off the TRT too. Like, I need to be healthy. I need to stop training a certain way, like, you know, breaking our bodies down. Like, we need to train to be strong and healthy. You know, we don't necessarily need to train to be a bodybuilder. And I'm not damning you if you are. If you want to be a bodybuilder, that's your path. That's great. But I think the general consensus for the general masses of the fitness industry, it's not about, we like to watch it, but it's not about being that for us. And if we're thinking about going down that, here's something that brings us back and says, look, if you do this, these are the risks. For a long time I heard, well, bodybuilding's so bad, where are the bodies? There's nobody dying, everybody's fine, where are the bodies? And I've heard Boston Lloyd say that shit all over and over again about, oh, it's not that bad, it's not that bad. And look at him, he's a kid that can't even fucking sit there and breathe and have a conversation without fucking huffing and puffing. Rich was like that, Dallas was like that. I mean, it's not a good sign to see people like this, and the people that are preaching it, people listen to them. So, fucking sure as shit enough, there has to be examples made, and unfortunately, it was Dallas and Rich, and it has absolutely fucking worked. The collective conscious has shifted so much in the last week to people thinking being that big is not worth it. Taking steroids is not worth it. Putting ourselves under that much fucking pressure is not worth it. Like, I'm not willing to die for this. And they took a very young individual like Dallas and someone who was like middle-aged like Rich, who's around my age, and made examples of both of them, which means that's two groups of people in two different ages that have woken the fuck up in the last 72 to 48 hours, or last week. I'll put it a week because tomorrow I think it'll be a week since Dallas passed. In the last week, many people from two different age brackets, which seem to be the heaviest, like in the middle, like between those ages, there's people that abuse the fuck out of themselves, but the people that are very young can set themselves on a path to fuck themselves up faster. The people that are middle-aged like myself, we can fuck ourselves up very quick doing the shit that we're doing. And it just seems interesting that I think that nobody's really piecing this together. Nobody's really looking at it, because the spiritual thing, I think people now in as general as a whole, based on that video that I put about Nothing Is By Chance, are more spiritual. I'm not saying religious, okay? I'm not saying it's about God, it's about Jesus, stuff like that, or Allah, or whatever. I'm saying spiritual. People are really starting to wake themselves up, or become awaken, however the fuck you say it. They're starting to wake up in droves now, and starting to look at things like health, doing better as a person, trying to be better to people around them, just trying to be a better person day to day, like holding that door for the fucking person that, you know, maybe you normally wouldn't. Like, those little things in life can send a ripple effect that can change the fucking world. But it starts with holding the door for someone. It starts with, you know, letting that fucking old lady, you know, I was gonna say, well, I think generally people help older people, but you know, there was a girl at the WWE event this weekend that really wanted to see Finn Balor and John Cena, and you know, the guy that was with me, D, you guys will see it in the vlog, that was with me, we let her go up to the railing. I mean, those were our seats, but you know what? Why not do something nice for someone? You know, we got the seats for free from Sheamus. Why not give her something that, you know, she didn't get, or she couldn't get, or nobody else would give her? You know, just doing those little things like that people appreciate, and they say, well, it was a nice thing. They go on to do nice things for other people, and then other people get nice things done for them, and it's a ripple effect that takes place. But until it starts with us, and us paying attention to what the fuck is going on around us, and killing ourselves by being 300 fucking pounds, or pushing to be 300 pounds, which, I get it. I was there. I was so fucking insecure that I needed to be that too. You know, I pushed my body to the fucking max. I did stupid things. I get it. But at least something clicked somewhere to make me turn around, and daily things still click. Like me going off the TRT dosages, which is 150 milligrams a test a week, is still another clicking in my fucking brain to say there's another way to do this. Lead by example. I can't tell people, you know, you shouldn't do steroids, you shouldn't fuck yourselves up if I'm on steroids myself. If I can't get them off them myself. If I'm addicted to them myself, I can't lead. And if I can't lead by example, I can't lead at all. So you have to bring yourself to the other people's level and say, look, in order to tell people that they shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing it yourself. Like, all these fucking things are clicking in my head, and I don't know what the reason is. I have no idea, but I do know that Dallas and Rich didn't die for nothing. There's no doubt in my fucking mind the way it went down, the shocking way that it went down, the closeness of how fast they got sick, and then it is not a surprise that people that are not paying attention need to be shook the fuck up to wake the fuck up. And I think that's exactly what happened. And sitting on it for a couple days, really thinking about it, and, you know, thinking about like our own mortality, and thinking about our own futures, and thinking about the way that we do things, you know, and judging by the emails and messages that I've gotten, I can't even keep up with what's going on right now between Rich and people thought I was close to Dallas. I didn't really know Dallas. I met him a couple times. I didn't really know him. But the fact that I just put up a post about him passing away, which shocked me, okay? Like, I didn't really know him, so people that really followed him and knew him, imagine how much it's shaking them up right now to say, this is what happened to Dallas. I don't want this to happen to me for any reason, so let's change this in my life. It's an awakening. it's a changing of directions. I think it's called a satori, a changing of directions to one's path, so that you don't wind up fucking yourself up. It doesn't happen to more people. It doesn't happen to the masses. Imagine if we went through life and everyone that did bodybuilding and, or everyone that did heroin never fucking died. Would anyone ever get clean? They'd be like, well, they never died, so why don't I just keep doing it and getting fucked up? This guy never died. Like King Kamali was 300 pounds. He didn't die. So if he did it, I can do it. Nassar El-Somebody, well, he's fucking dead. There are other guys that it happened to out there that passed away from the high body weight, the drugs, but never two at a time like this in 1 week that really shook the fucking fitness industry to its foundation. I mean, it's been shaken to its foundation, and if you don't see what's going on and pay attention to what the fuck is going on, there's a very good possibility, and I'm not saying that you would be made of an example by the universe, but I'm saying there's a good possibility that you could suffer the same fate, either die at a young age like Dallas, or die at the peak of your life. Rich was starting to fucking live. No more competitions, had plenty of money, traveled all over the world, saw things he would never see if he had never built the 5%. He was living, him and Chanel together in love. He was living. He was at the starting to peak of his life. And he's gone. These are facts, guys. These are facts. So let me know down there what you think, because I'm really, really I'm shocked at how in your face the universe can be sometimes, and how much of a slap in the fucking chops you can get. And and I'm seeing it. I'm seeing that people wake up, and I think it's a great thing. Like I said, I'm not judging anyone who wants to live those lifestyles that Rich and Dallas did. Hey, that's your path, that's your path. But the general masses, if they all live those fucking lifestyles, we'd be in some serious fucking trouble. Biostrengthtraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.biostrength.com is a blog. It's the Awakening Bicep, and we're out.